Imagine applying to thousands of jobs, creating a personalized CV and cover letter for each of them without writing a single line yourself. This is exactly what I've done, and I want to show you how you can use this for yourself. Let me quickly show you how you will use this automation and what you'll get out of it. So first of all, you go to LinkedIn/jobs/search and input all your filters. You can filter for location, for distance, you can filter for many things. What you'll then do is you copy this link and go to the automation. Then you just simply start the workflow and a pop-up will come where you say how many jobs you want to scrape. I'm going with 100. I'm putting the country code of my country, setting scrape company to true, and just paste this link from LinkedIn here in this field. And then I would submit. After you've submitted it, it will go through all the job listings that it found and will input a record for each of them in Airtable database. And what you will get is a personalized and optimized CV and cover letter for each of them. So we have here rendered in LaTeX optimized CV and optimized cover letter. For each company, it's a different PDF file, different order, different text. So it's very personalized towards the job description. So before we dive deeper into how this is exactly set up, I want to show you a quick overview so you get the feel for how this automation works. So at the first step, we got our LinkedIn job URL. This is the page where you set all your filters for desired jobs. And then all these job descriptions will be scraped and also your profile will be fetched just to see if the company description meets your expectations. And after that, we will go through all the jobs that we found and apply basic filtering. This basic filtering is based on if the company meets your expectations. If it's a match, it will continue with an advanced AI evaluation. This evaluation is specifically about gathering all tasks and requirements from the job description and save them into Airtable. What we'll then do is a company check to see if the company is already registered in our database. If not, we'll do a deep research about the company to find all relevant information online about them. And then we will calculate the match score. So we have two types of matching. The first matching is if the company meets your expectations. And the second one is if you meet the expectations of the company. So you don't apply to random jobs that don't match your skills. If it's a good match, we will continue with optimizing the CV, optimizing the skills, and also then generating the CV and generating the cover letter. And after that, we finally can upload these files to Airtable and track the application. So we keep track of all the jobs that we want to apply to. And then we'll continue with the next one. So that's our basic setup. Now we'll get into detail about how this is set up in an N8N. There it's a bit more technical, but I'll guide you through every step. So for the first part, we have the job scraper. This is the part where we actually find jobs online, and I used the form submission to gather all the data that Apify needs. In Apify, I used this actor. I will drop you the link in a detailed guide, so you don't have to take notes now. Basically, all this actor needs is a LinkedIn job page URL, which you can go on LinkedIn/jobs/search. It will bring you to an interface where you see all kinds of jobs. And here on top, you can set a location. I've set mine to Zurich. And what you can do then is set all types of filters. You can set distance, you can set specific companies. All right, so then we grab this link. And what we then do is I'll just give you a quick demo to start this workflow. Just say how many results you want to have. I'm going with 100. Then we'll go scrape company true to give us all the details we need and just use the URL we copied from LinkedIn and input it here. So let me start this really quick. You can see the automation is starting to run, but I will just stop it here so I can show you what's happening on Apify right now. So if I'm going to Apify, I click on runs. I see this current workflow that we just triggered is running right now. I'm gonna show you one that is finished. So what you see in the output is a big list of all the details it gathered from this job description. It's details about the company, the size of the company, what they're looking for, and the descriptions. So you got quite a lot of data here that you can use in our automation. also the link, and also the ref ID. This is also important that we don't scrape the same job listing multiple times. So after we scraped the jobs from LinkedIn via Apify, what I do is we get the positioning profile from Airtable. So I got quite a big Airtable base set up for this automation, and we got a table named positioning profile. What I do here is I set my expectations for a job, also focus topics, preferred industries, salary, company size. This data will help the AI agent later to identify which job is a good fit for you. All right. Then we get job listings with the ref ID, where ref ID is not empty. So this way we get all the job listings with the ref IDs and put them into a single string. So we got this with all the IDs. We will use this in a later step to identify which jobs we have already applied to or which jobs we have already scraped. So as this will take some time for the actor to finish with the results, we set a wait node, about 10 seconds. You can also put it a bit longer, but I think 10 seconds is fine. And we will check the run status of the actor. This is just an easy task. You just need the run ID, which you will get when running the scraper. It will return a run ID, and then check the status of the automation. All right, get positioning profile. I'm gonna do that again. If the actor is finished with the results, it will pass this filter here and request the data from Apify. This will just give us a list. So what we'll then do is we'll loop through each record that we found from Apify and pass it through a basic filter. This basic filter is in place just to ensure that the listing that we are currently looking at has the required data that we will need later in the workflow. So if a company has no name, it could break our workflow because we want to find out information about a company, and if they don't provide a name, that's already not a good start. But also, as you can see here, I'm passing the string with the reference IDs that we got. And here we set a filter that if they don't contain ref ID, it's true. If it's false, if it contains a ref ID from the current listing that we're looking at, it's already out. So this means that we already scraped it and we don't have to do it again. If it passes this basic filter, it will then go to a match evaluator, which will ensure that the job description matches with our positioning profile. So the things we've said here about the preferred roles and expectations we have for a job. So basically what this does, I have a prompt inside here which you can copy at the end with details about the company, the description of the company and the job description itself, and also the user requirements, focus topics, preferred industries, minimum salary, just the information that we've put here in Airtable. And what it will give us is a score from 0 to 100. And what it will also give us is a brief justification of 2 to 3 sentences with some reasoning why it thinks that this job might fit or might not. So to also get the correct output, we just use an output parser so that the model knows exactly in which format it should give us the data. If it's not a match, it will also go to the next record and go through that. If it's a match, it goes into an advanced evaluation. The advanced evaluation, we're going to extract some informations that we want to have from the job listing. This includes information like, is there a remote option? Is there a specific tools they use? Are there specific benefits they highlight? What are the tasks and what are the requirements? We will use this data to create our job listing entry in Airtable, where we can input this data to use it afterwards for a detailed analysis. After formatting the bullet points into the formats that we want, we will save them to Airtable. So here we will create the job listings record with all the information we already got, and we will save this in Airtable under job listings. So you can see here that we have all the information we got from LinkedIn via Apify, and we will save it here, the name of the title, the role, description, location, just everything, so we can keep track of it. After that, we decide if it is a recruiter or a company that has posted this job description. Because if we do the cover letter, it's important to write it in a different style if it is a recruiting company, and if it is a company that's posting the job listing directly, it has to be a different approach. Also, we will do a deep research about the company, and it would not make sense to make a deep research about the recruiting company. All right, let's continue with the next step. The next step is the advanced company info scraper. So what this does is we will search in Airtable, in our company table, if the company name that we got from Apify already exists. So here we got a lot of companies. It could be that the company that you're applying to is already listed here because you applied for another job. So we don't want to make the research again if it already exists. If it does not exist, it will create the company and connect it to the job listing. So here's the job listing, and we have a lookup field about company just to connect it with outsourced information about the company. This is not directly tied to the job listing, but it's information that is quite important for us to further enhance our CV. If the company does exist, we will just simply connect the record to Airtable, so we don't have to do scraping. All right, and then we will also check if the company is not only existent, but also if it is already scraped. If it is scraped, we will continue with the workflow. But if it is not scraped, we will start a scraping of the company. So here we'll see we will format a company scraper JSON array with all the different things we want to know about the company. This includes their values, their tech stack. We can know their tech stack, but based on research from the internet and their industry, we could guess what tech stack they might use. So this will also give us a benefit if we can make predictions what they might be using. For example, if it is an e-commerce store and the employee count is, let's say, below 20, we could assume they use one of Shopify or WordPress as their shop system, because larger companies would use more enhanced enterprise software. So after we've done that, we will just extract the tasks to break them up into an array, which we will then loop over. So here we'll loop over the scraper task. So this deep company researcher has multiple topics that he wants to research one by one. So you could have also given the AI researcher like every topic at once, but I think you'll get more quality if the research agent has to go through a topic one by one. So he goes more in depth into each topic instead of going only for a few searches for all of the different things. It just makes things less complicated for the AI if you give it small tasks. So what happens here is we just give him the system message, which we got from the extract tasks, which is set from the company scraper JSON, which defines the different tasks we want. You can see here we saved the user message here with the different things we want and the variables that we got from Apify about company information. And then we'll have some tools connected to our agent, which will help him to do the research. So here for this search agent, there are different tools you could use, such as SERP API, but I'm using my own self-hosted alternative, which does not cost any credits. So I have more flexibility on searching as much as I want without having to rely on API credits. And then we also have ScrapeURL, which is a small tool which uses Puppeteer to scrape the page that the AI agent found via this search API. And it will extract all the information, basically the body text, to identify what's written on the page. So this way the AI agent will analyze what the scrape will returned in plain text and puts them in the exact format that we want, that we defined in the output parser. So we also extracted this relatively new think tool. It's just saying the AI agent to think deeply. So I tested it without it, and I noticed that it does less research without it. So I added it, and now it does more research. That's exactly what I want. After the research is done, it will go through this filter here. And what it does here is it checks for which task was it. So I defined a fixed set of tasks. So what I want to know is more details about the company, specifically their values and culture, their tech stack, their products and services, their company goals and news, their target customers and audience, a small company description. You could define your own topics, but I think these are the most relevant ones. Also, what are their target customers and audience is quite important, as we can directly personalize our tone of writing to them, and we can also highlight benefits that we would give to their customers, because in the end that's the most important thing for their business, right? To make more money, to get new customers. And if we already know what type of customers they have and what type of problems they might face, we can position ourselves with an optimal solution for them. We just go ahead and update them in Airtable, so we have this information filled for companies. You can see it here in the tech stack, values and culture. We just fill in these informations. So the next step we are focusing on is calculating a match score. So we already calculated a match based on what our desires are, what we want to have in a company, like my expectations for salary, remote option and stuff like that. And what we are going to do now is we extract all the information we have in Airtable about past projects that we have worked on and identify if these also align with the job description. So we do not just apply to a job description that offers us all the benefits we have, but also takes a look at what we have to offer and if this aligns with the company's desires. So we're getting our job records. By job records, I mean I have work experience, where you put in all the companies you worked for and also your projects. You can have multiple projects that you've worked on the same company. I just like to create a record for each project that I've worked on, which provided value to them. So you can use this to better enhance the bullet points that we will use afterwards in our CV. I don't want to go into each node because they do practically the same. They get the work experience, put it into array. They get the skills, put it into array. Here in Airtable we have work experience, skills. This is every tool that we know about and have used in the past and have some experience with. And also the projects that we've worked on, certificates that we have, education, just everything that would go into your CV normally. I'm gonna put them all into an array and feed them to an AI agent, which has the task to look at the company, look at the job description, and look at your profile as a person to identify a score from 0 to 100 and update this in Airtable. We're not filtering based on it, but it's important to know, because if you have job descriptions or to send out applications with higher priority or more detailed focus, you can look at the match score and see what the AI thinks would be a best fit for you. Let's continue with the next part, which is creating the CV and cover letter LaTeX templates. So this is where the real magic happens, kind of, because it puts all the data that we've gathered into the correct format and puts them into template files. So if you've never heard of LaTeX before, it's basically an option for you to generate CVs or text documents in general with code formatting. So here you can also set the styles, the borders, the colors. It gives you all the options, and it's structured in a way that makes it possible for us to bring our experience, our text into this format and then render it to a compiled PDF file. As you can see here, we're getting the profile again, and the profile is not the positioning profile. The profile is the information that it has saved about us, like all our data. So then we gather our profile, and then we'll go into a sub-step. This is here 3.1, which will create an optimized work experience array. The goal of this sub-step is to bring our information into the correct format that we will use in the LaTeX template. So what it does here, it gets the specific job listing. So all the details we've gathered before about this job, and also our work experience. And it goes through each work experience, like each company that we've worked at, and gets all the projects from this company. And what it does is, first of all, it will look if you've done projects at this company. If so, it will put all of them into a single array and convert this to a string and gives this data to the craft matching work experience. So here's also some kind of magic that's happening. It's also happening if you have no projects, it just has less data. So it will decide, all right, do you have work experience? There we have some data. And do you also have projects? There we have more data. After that, it will give it to the agent, which has the task to craft 4 specific and personalized bullet points for each work experience position. Like let's say you worked at Google, and this AI agent will look what everything you have done at Google, and it will try to format these projects and also what you've done in general there and outline them perfectly to match what the job description wants from you. So if you've done some research for new customers and you've coded some projects and the job description asks for your coding skills, then it will not mention the research, but focus on the coding projects that you've done. Then it will format these values in the format that we need, which is LaTeX, and go through the next ones. So we go through each project, we go through each work experience, and after that, we will put all these experience into a simple JSON, put it into a string to save it for later in Airtable, but also put it into text format. So here we have some code which will bring it into the exact formats that we need for our LaTeX files. You can see here each item has a specific syntax to separate them here in the final PDF. Then it will fetch the template, because what we will do is we will provide the workflow, this code, but we will use placeholders like work experience and tell him to fill out the information exactly there. So it will look for this specific string and it will replace it with what it just built in this workflow here. After that, it will convert the file and write it to a temp file where it will then be rendered later. So as you go on, we also create the same sub-step for create optimized skill set. Again, here I think it makes sense to go more into depth about what we can offer the company, because if you can offer lots of different skills and lots of different projects. If you're an all-rounder like me, for example, I can do Google Ads, I can also do coding and automation stuff. But if I want to apply for a marketing role, I don't want to mention the rest of the stuff because I want to focus on what they want. So there you have the skills, and what it does is it takes the skills and puts them in the correct order. So you will have the skills, these skills in the PDF, and what it does is it will find the skills that will match with the role that you apply to, and also it will optimize the ordering of these skills. So most relevant skills will be placed on top and most irrelevant skills will either not be shown. If they match in some parts, they will be shown at the bottom. So you have an optimized experience for the reader of this document. It's almost the same as the work experience automation, but here it just goes through the skills and picks out the ones instead of reframing and creating. It will not take words and write them different. It will write them exactly how you put them into your Airtable base, and it will also not invent new words. So you just offer what you have actually in your database. So then we are back here. We're covering all these different codes that we've now done. So we've done all the LaTeX codes, formatted them, AI optimized them, and then we're copying them to template files, which will then be rendered afterwards. But let's continue with step number 4. We're here with step number 4. So what we do here is we get our profile again and get the job listing and identify if it is the company that's offering the job or if it's a recruiting company. Because if it's a recruiting company, we will do a different cover letter for them. Because in our main cover letter, we have a section where we focus on why we want to join this specific company, which will use all the information we've gathered on them. This is quite interesting because the results that I have gotten were quite exciting, because it had information that they didn't even write in the job listing. So it looks like you've made a really deep research about the company, which you haven't done, but your AI has done it. So it's quite a nice thing, because you will have a very nice experience for the company if you name details about them. Or also the AI, when I tested it, it mentions specific details. They're focusing on specific projects that it found in the news, and how you think they are exciting projects, and how you think that you will have a good impact on these topics and projects. Right, it brings them again into the format, places them into a template file. And after this is done, we'll go to the last step. So the last step is basically to upload the files that we've rendered with LaTeX to our Airtable database, and just create a new folder for each application, upload the files there, and attach them to our Airtable job listing record. So we have a clear tracking system with the status and the files that we have for each application. What I also want to mention is that here you might not see it, it's just a small step, but this node here is extremely important, as it will render the actual LaTeX files. So this is a small script that we have on our server, which I will provide you, which basically uses LaTeX and a Docker command to start the rendering of these template files with the code in them. And what you will get out of it is a finished personalized CV as PDF, which you can then later upload to Airtable. So in the end, if a run is complete for each application, it will create a record in the application table, put in the information that we have about the company, about the contact person that we have, and also attach our files that it generated, and also the date it generated. You can see here we have our personalized cover letter with information about the company. It's in German, as the role is German, and also a profile with optimized skills for this job, and also the optimized work experience. So this is the 4 bullet points I mentioned that are generated out of the projects that you've done at each company. Also all your awards and your education. All right, to summarize this up, it's quite a complex setup, as I said. So you might have to put in some hours to get this working for yourself. But I think the benefit of setting this up is enormous. So I've landed multiple job interviews without even doing anything. The drawback that I had sometimes was that the AI was hyper optimistic about each job opportunity and wrote some things in the cover letter that were not as good. For example, at one company it wrote, yeah, I'm the guy you can call at 3 a.m. Working at night is no problem. So I had to make some changes. I think now it's fixed. And also this system does not include right now a system that sends them out and tracks the response. So I have to do for now, but I will further work on this workflow to extend it to also track and write the companies an email, attach the files, and also track their response, and maybe even send them a link for a meeting. So we reverse the process a bit. I'll drop the full guide in the video description. Leave a like if it helped you. Leave a comment if you have a question. I'm happy to help. All right, see you in the next video.